All right, we have this Porsche Cayenne door that we're going to be working on today. I'm going to show you guys how to take the door panel off. Real simple, just a couple of Torx 30s. You're going to have a couple in here and right here, and then you're going to have two down here. So to take this off right here, you want to take this one off first. Start by prying it. I already got it loose just to show you guys how it comes off. This one comes off first, set it aside. The next one, you're going to pry this one off. Like I said, I already got it loose just to show you guys. There's these little retaining clips that hold them in place right there. You want to make sure those stay there for when you reinstall it, it'll go back easy. And now you're going to have a Torx 30 up here, right in here. And have another one right in there, another one in there. And you're going to want to take those all out. They look just like these guys right here. And then at the very bottom of the door, you're going to have two Torx 20s. These guys are going to be right down here holding the bottom of the panel on. Once you got all your screws out, then at that point you can pull the panel towards you from the bottom, and you're going to want to lift up and over the top of the door frame. And then if you have something to set your panel on, you want to disconnect your door open cable right here, and then you're going to have a couple other wires down here. For these Porsches, it's real simple. You just come in here, you just kind of split them open, pull it back. And then you want to unhook it and set that aside. You have one more connector right here hooked up to your window motor right here. And then that one is just plastic clip. You push it over, slide it out, and then you can remove your door panel and set it aside. Once you have your panel exposed like this, you have a couple of things you want to disconnect. I already got it loosened up. The motor comes off right here. It's going to be a 3 Torx 25s.
See, the regulator's broken there, the cables are hanging.
The cables are mangled right here. That's a good indication of when you got a broken regulator. You're going to want to disconnect some of this stuff. We're not going to remove this panel entirely. We're just going to let it hang so we can take the top portion of this off. And we're going to continue by removing this little plastic clip that's right here on this side. There's another one right there. They just pop in like that. And then you're going to want to come over here and remove the top seal that goes around the door. It comes out fairly easily, but you have to remove it because the top portion of the door panel comes off. You can leave that hanging like that, not a problem. Then once we're here, have this loose, you're going to want to finish taking it off. Right here on this side, these covers come off. That exposes a Torx 40. There's another one down here. There's the bolts right there. And then on this side, you have two more on the opposite side. In here, down here, and over here. Same thing with those. You're going to want to get those removed. I already have them loosened up. Originally, there's some rivets up here. You're going to want to drill those out. I already went ahead and drilled those out. And then once you remove these Torx 30 that go all the way around here, at that point you're going to drop the panel. I'm going to make sure I disconnect the mirror. I want to disconnect the mirror because that comes off right there. And I think we're ready to lift up. There it is. That is the regulator assembly with the top half of the door coming out. This is the part of the process that needs to be done in order to remove this regulator. And then we could service it from this point.
So one thing we do differently here at Power Window Repair with these regulators is we replace these broken plastic parts with metal parts. And if you want to ship us your window regulator, you can do that by simply drilling out these 4 rivets and then send us all this. Send us the track, all this stuff, the cables, the spool housing, and we'll rebuild it and ship it back to you if that's what you want to do. Again, we use metal parts. Do not put a cheap Chinese plastic part in here because it will be broken in months. We've had plenty of experience with this and we see it all the time.
All right, so now that we got the regulator out and set on our table just to take a better look at it, we can tell that the cable snapped on this one and then the little plastic piece broke right here. You see how that tensioner broke right there? That's the #1 failure of these regulators with these plastic parts, with these little metal, these tensioners. We replace them with metal parts, and that's how we're able to offer the lifetime warranty on our repairs. But this is your typical Porsche Cayenne regulator removal.
Once we send the regulator back to you, you'll notice that we put metal parts on here. We actually do have metal repair underneath here. It's proprietary, so you won't be able to see it from here. We don't replace every single part with metal. You know, some of these wheels, we keep them plastic because they're actually very, very strong and those never break. But what we do that no one else does also is we replace the cables with stainless steel cables. No one else has stainless steel cables. If you live in a wet climate, obviously you're going to get a rusty cable like this. Some of the cheaper cables out there from these cheap Chinese parts, they rust through literally in months. But stainless steel cables will never ever rust through. So that's definitely a great upgrade that we do that no one else has. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and put this back in the door and get this thing stitched up. Okay, once you have the door frame back in the envelope, remember to obviously stitch it up. It's the reverse of removing it. Basically, you want to put these 4 bolts in. 2 in the back, 2 in the front. Get this panel back in place. Hook up all your wire harnesses. Make sure your speaker's plugged in. Put the motor back on. Make sure the motor's plugged in. And then put this rubber seal back around the door. Door panel goes back on. Make sure you hook up your door rod and hook up your power window switch, which actually plugs into the bottom of the motor. Put the door panel on, all your torque bolts and screws, and you're off to the races. Oh, and clean the glass too. That's always a good idea. All right, guys, if you have any trouble with us, go ahead and give us a call. Contact information's all right here. PowerWindowRepair.com, 480-570-5116.